What? You gotta be... God. This is driving me crazy. There's got to be a better way. Way. Oh, what's up everybody? Chris Gault here, Healthy Living with Chris Gault. And today I'm going to talk about my journey to the Fountain of Youth, what made me write this book, what made me change my entire life so that I was actually happy instead of stressed out and completely upset about life and everything else. So stay tuned. All right, so this all started back in my late 50s. I still owned my running store, and I saw all sorts of people come into the store. And I saw people who looked a lot younger than me, who were actually older than I was, and I saw a lot of people who were actually younger than me that looked a lot older than me. And I also noticed that the younger looking people seemed to be more happy. They seemed to be happier with their lives, and the older people seemed to be more grumpy. And at that time, because I was burning out in the retail industry, I was starting to become one of the grumpy ones, and I noticed that I aged a lot in the 13 years that I actually owned the store. And I had a very stressful job before I owned the store, because I was in charge of a division of one of the largest nonprofits around in the finance area, and it was very stressful, but it wasn't as stressful as having the running store. Even though having the running store was a lot of fun, there was a lot of fun with it, but there was also a lot of stress because obviously if I failed in the running store, it was me. I mean, we would go bankrupt and we would lose everything. So it was very stressful in that sense, and I aged a lot, and I was starting not to be happy. So that's when I knew that I actually had to make a change, because like I said, the people who seemed to be living a happy life looked younger, and the people that were looking older were being grumpy, and they actually just were not enjoying life. And so I said to myself, there's got to be something to this pattern. There has to be something about being happy with your life and having that reflect on you physically and mentally is tremendous. And so I had to do something, and that's why I ended up selling the store. And now I'm a YouTuber, and I also help out my wife with her health coaching business, and it's so much more relaxing because I'm in a position now where I don't have to really worry about finances, and it's really helped me out. But that's where we need to all get to, is to a point where we actually love what we do and make money. Because if we could do that, then we're gonna have a much healthier, happier life, and we're gonna age a lot more gracefully. And all because of that, I started to research online, how do you stay younger longer? How do you age well? Or how do, they say anti-age. I like to call it aging well, because it's really, you can't really anti-age because you're not going backwards in time, but you're still getting older. But the thing is, can you age well enough so that it actually looks like you're actually getting younger? That's what I wanted to do. And so I did a lot of research, and that's why I wrote the book. Let me go grab this. That's why I wrote this book. And it has a lot of tips on how to stay young and healthy as long as you can. And then what I did is I wanted to share it all on my YouTube channel. So I created the YouTube channel, and I'm putting out everything on there that's actually in the book, plus a lot more, because now I've had the YouTube channel for over 2 years, and I'm able to put a lot. I was able to put a lot of stuff on there. I have over 400 videos at this point and going strong, and hopefully I have over 500 videos by the end of 2022. And so with that, I'm hopefully to put out a lot of stuff and content out there about how to age well. The other thing that actually went with it is I had to get rid of this anger of, when I was in the store, I was angry a bit, and some of it had to do with staffing, and people don't always do what you want them to do, and retail is very difficult, and so that anger of that was actually eating me alive. And so I had to do something to break out of that, and that's why I ended up selling the store, like I mentioned earlier. And so that really helped out a lot. And then, like I said, I went and I started researching how to do a lot of other things, like how to grow back my hair. As you know, I got some hair. I actually had no hair up here for the longest time. I think I lost it all running that running store, but it's starting to come back now, and there's different tips that I have on doing that, and I'm going to have some more tips that I'm doing because I've actually added some things, and I'm going to be doing that soon. It's just that I want the hair to grow in a little bit more before I actually share those, and that'll be hopefully soon, because it does take a long time for hair to grow. So it actually is not a week thing, it's like a many month thing before you see if something is actually working or not. So I'm going to share that when I get it. I also wanted to reduce wrinkles, so I actually found ways to help do that. And I am 60 years old. I do have some wrinkles. I have a lot, but I have hopefully less now than I used to have. I do some face exercises and some massages on the face, and you can see some of my older videos that show that. I don't have any new videos on that because I'm basically doing the same thing that I did back in the day. So you can always look at those older videos and you can see what I did back then. And then I also want to make sure that I stayed fit, because I see a lot of people who just get so overweight as they age, and I mean it's really sad, because you see these people who had these great lives, they're out there, they're doing things, they're physically active, and then they just stop as they get older, and their excuse is, well, I'm too old to do that now. I'm too old. I even remember talking to somebody about doing a push-up challenge, because I did a push-up challenge where you do 22 push-ups a day for like 22 days or something like that. And then you nominate somebody every day, and I nominate one person who used to be a Navy diver, who used to be in awesome shape, great runner, everything. And I said, and he said, well, I can't even do one push-up now. And so it's really sad, and he's like my age, but it's really sad that we see people who just get away from it completely. So my whole idea is to stay physically fit all through my life, because I don't want to be that person who can't stand up and walk. And you see so many people give up on life, and then in their 70s, 80s, they're in a wheelchair or a walker because they can't walk, or they're bent over like this because they're not stretching out. So that's why I also put out videos about working out and stretching and balance and all that kind of stuff that's very important for people who actually aging in life. And all this stuff can actually start, you could start all this stuff, and I wish I did, start all this stuff back in my 20s, because so it's not just something for the older people. This is something that even younger people can get on board with, because if you start in your 20s to live a healthy life, then you're just going to be so much better as you get up to like my age now. I mean, I'm just thinking like how better off I would have been if I would have started this more in my 20s as opposed to in my late 50s. So anyway, as I said, I had to sell my store because I had to get rid of that anger or that burnout of being in the store. I had to get away from that. And so I do suggest that if you are in a position, if you're in a job that you hate and it's making you angry, or if you're doing something like you have a business and it's just driving you crazy and you hate it, you need to get out of it and you need to do something else. Make the change. You're going to be happy if you make the change. Just go do it and you'll be happy. And then I started doing what I wanted to do. So I wrote the book, like I mentioned, My Journey to the Fountain of Youth. I also wrote a fiction book. This one's called Memoirs of Biochip Man. It's all about like a superhero type guy who wasn't a superhero in the beginning, but then becomes a superhero because his brain gets a chip and he becomes a lot more intelligent. He's able to do a lot of things with his body because of that. They're both on Amazon if you're interested. And then I started my YouTube channel, and I just love doing this. I just love doing videos and editing them and doing all that kind of stuff and getting into the gear, and I'll talk a little bit about that in a little bit. And then I wanted to make a big change in moving my residence. So I lived in Maryland. I love Maryland, right next to DC. It was in the DC suburbs, but it's very, very fast paced there. And I was at a point now, which I loved when I was younger. It's an awesome place to be when you're younger. I moved to California, and now I can look out my window and I see the ocean out there. And so it's just beautiful to see the ocean out there. And also I have a rooftop deck, which I can go up and see the ocean. I walk my dog. I'm 2 blocks from the ocean, so we walk on the beach all the time. And it's just so much more fun to be out here. And you could be out here every day when there's these huge winter storms going on in Maryland, in DC, that area. It's like 60, 70 degrees here, and in California, in Southern California. So I just loving it out here, and I do recommend, if you really are burnt out and you really don't like your place, go change it. Don't be afraid to make a change, and it's scary at first, but it can just provide so many benefits down the road. And that's what it's done for me. So I'm just so much more relaxed here. And out here, it's more about what you do for fun. You know, there's so many people who surf or run or bike and do all these different things outside. Well, on the East Coast, a lot of it is about, when you ask someone what you do, you know, it's all about work. You know, are you an accountant? Are you a lawyer? Are you whatever? And out here, it's just a little bit more laid back, and it's more about what you do for fun as opposed to what you do for work. I also knew that I needed to drink more water. I did put out a video on how much water you should drink, and I have a formula, and you can go look at that video. Basically, it's 2/3 of your body weight in pounds, and that gives you how many ounces you should drink. So if you're 150 pounds, you hit 2/3 of that, you're going to get to 100 ounces, and you drink 100 ounces a day. And you can always test it by looking at your urine, and you can look at some of my other videos on that, because if your urine is lighter, then you know you're hydrated, and if it's darker, you know you're not hydrated enough, and that way you can tell if you're hydrated enough. So anyway, I just knew that, and so I do stay more hydrated. A couple other things, I eat a lot healthier now, and I actually went vegan 2 years ago, and you can see some of those videos on my experience, but it's really helped my cholesterol come down to a normal level, because it was slightly high, and now it's right in, you know, where it should be. It dropped like 40 points, and I just feel great being on a vegan diet, and I was amazed that it was actually a lot easier than I thought. And I'm actually mostly raw vegan. I do eat some bad vegan stuff, but mostly I'm raw vegan. I eat a lot of vegetables. I put them in a blender and blend them all up, and I end up making shakes out of that, and just has a lot of good nutrients in it. The other thing I did, which I really needed to do, is reduced alcohol, because I used to drink a lot of alcohol, and I mean, I was like, I didn't really realize it, but I was drinking like 2 to 3 drinks a day, you know, a couple glasses of wine at dinner, and then on the weekend I was drinking more, because I would get together with people and we'd all be drinking. So I'd be drinking 4 or 5 drinks on the weekends, and so I really changed that down to a couple of drinks per week, and that really works better for me. And so I feel a lot better with that. Kind of working, maybe I get it completely out, but you know, I just get that urge every once in a while to have a drink when I go out, and that's when I really drink now. I don't drink any wine at dinner anymore. It's more like when I go out, have a drink, and that we only go out like on the weekend, and so I only get like 1 or 2 drinks a week, and to me that's working pretty well. And like I said, eventually maybe I'll get it out, but we'll see what happens. The other thing I had to do is to exercise every day and mix up the workouts. And when I owned the store, I mainly ran. I tried to get some lifting in, and I did do some lifting, but it wasn't always consistent. And before that, when I was at the Red Cross and I was working a lot of hours, and I was commuting a lot of hours, and I was in the home a whole lot, it was very sporadic as to when I would work out. I barely ever ran, and I worked out maybe once or twice a week at a gym. And so I wasn't really working out well, just to let you know. So now I actually set up a plan, and I actually put out videos on this too, but I exercise every day. I get resistance in 3 days a week. I get cardio in the other 3 days a week. I get core in just about every day. I do stretching and balance, do a little yoga thing that I do every day, and because of that, I'm in much better shape than I was, you know, a few years ago. And so here I'm getting older, I'm actually getting in better shape as opposed to worse shape. And anyone can do this. Just throwing it out there, is anyone can go from being out of shape to good shape, and it doesn't matter what age you are. You can actually get there as long as you're doing it the right way. So you don't want to take on so much that you give up. What you want to do is just take on like 30 minutes a day, which is what I do, and you do that, and you do that every day, and you just continue that, and you will actually get better and better and better. You'll see results, and you don't have to increase it, but you will see amazing changes in your body if you just dedicate 30 minutes a day. And I guarantee you, and I challenge everybody, that they can find 30 minutes a day to get some sort of workout in, especially if it's for their own health. They can do it. The other thing is, and this is really important, is I really reduce down the time that I watch the news, because the news is all negative, and people, the reason why these channels actually are always putting out negative stuff is because people tend to gravitate towards the negative stuff. But you don't have to be that way. If you want to be a positive, happy person, you got to stay away from all the negativity that's out there. So I've reduced down the amount of news that I watch down to a minimum. I used to watch a lot of it, and I used to just be, I never turned off the news feeling good about myself. Let me put it that way. So why even watch it? And if there's something important going on, I'm going to find out about it. So it doesn't really matter. I don't need to watch the news. And so I've really reduced it down a lot, and that's really helped take a lot of stress off my body. And then the other thing I've done is I meditate a little bit. Now, when I say meditate, I'm not sitting up on a mountain, up there for hours on end. But what I do is I will meditate for just like 2 minutes a day. I have a hard time because I have ADD, I think. I've never been really diagnosed, but I think that I have that issue because my brain is just everywhere. And so when I'm trying to meditate, my brain is thinking about everything that I got to do as opposed to what's going on. But if you want to practice mindfulness, which is meditation and being in the present, which is what I do, you can do it. And what you do is just concentrate on your breath, in, out, and all you're thinking is in, out as you breathe. And if you concentrate on that, you can start to funnel your thoughts just to that. You start to clear your mind. And then what happens is, things are going to start popping in. Then get back to the breath. Do that, in, out, and eventually you'll be able to increase the time. And I can get up to maybe 2 minutes at the most. Some people can do it for a lot longer, obviously, but that works for me, and it really does relax me. And I just find that very, very healing, I guess is the word. So with all of that, there was still something that was missing in my life, and what it was, and because being an accountant, you don't really think about this that much, but this was the big secret, and that is to add fun to your life. And you really need to add fun to your life, because if you add fun to your life, you're gonna be a more positive person. And if you're a more positive minded person, your whole body is gonna react to that. Not only mentally, but physically. Your whole body is going to react to that. So now I have a lot more fun. And making the videos like this is fun for me. So that just happened. And I love trying new equipment. So if there's something out there that I wanna buy, I'll just go out and get it. Whether it be a new camera or whatever, or my drone. I just bought the Mavic 3. It's the newest awesome drone out there, and I just love that drone. I am taking Casey Neistat's film class, which is a lot of fun too, and he's just an awesome YouTuber. In fact, this video is my second project, and I think it's going on a little bit longer than it probably should, but he's just a genius when it comes to storytelling. And the one that he did for a second one was sunglasses with the camera. And I said, wow, I'm going to get that too. But what I did is, because what he mentions is this Ray-Ban sunglasses that he has a really awful picture in it. It doesn't really film that well. So I researched cameras and sunglasses. And this one, Ono one actually has a 4K camera in it and a microphone. And so I've got that, and I'm going to run around with it, and I'm going to show you some footage of that in this video so you could see what those sunglasses can do, but I think they're going to be awesome. So check it out. So I am going to unbox this Casey Neistat style, and then I'm going to show you what this thing can do. So let's get to it. Alright, so I like the way they look. Kind of make me look cool, so I like that. But let's see what these babies can do. Hey, how you doing?
Good. It's the best.
How you doing? Good morning. Yeah, great.
Good day, huh?
Yeah. Ready to hike.
Yeah, sure.
Hey, hey everybody.
Chris, I'm
Hey.
Cindy.
Hi, I'm Chris.
Her husband, Chris.
Hi, Cindy.
This is
How
Janet.
you guys doing?
Hi. Or she's
Hey?
leaving.
She's leaving, huh? Morning. Now. No. It was just her hose was all over the place. So.
Yeah, you got a pink one and I got this little thing and yep, it's a good leash. Our dog.
Hey, Pipe. How you doing? How you doing? Alright, so that was just a little bit of footage that I took when I went on a hike, and that will be out in a future video, but I just wanted to see what some of the video, I didn't take all the video on my glasses, I took some on my phone and I took some on my drone, but I just wanted to see what the sunglasses can do. And so all that footage was on these, and you can see that the quality was actually really good. And I had it filming in 4K Ultra D, so ultra high def. So actually I think it all turned out really well. The only thing I really learned is, and you can see I'm moving my head right now, is I have to learn that when I have them on, I have to really keep my head still. So that might make me look a little funny, because I'm gonna have to talk like a robot, right? I'm gonna have to be like this, and I can't really move if I really want to film something and not have it jiggle all over the place. So that's the biggest concern that I have with these glasses. But other than that, I think they really film really well, and they actually have a lot of space on them. And so I filmed a lot. I got a lot of clips in ultra high D, and I actually have a lot of extra space. The other thing is I got the green screen back here, and so it looks like I've got what I got back here, but I can change that anytime, and I can be anywhere. I can snap that I'm at Niagara Falls, or I can snap it I'm in Paris. I can snap it and I'm in London. I mean, I can do whatever I want to do, and I can even snap it and be back to where I was when I started this whole thing. And it's just a lot of fun to play around with the green screen. And so all those kind of things makes me happy. You know, I also play the guitar. Haven't played it a whole lot lately, but I do play it, and I used to play it a lot. I like to get outside mainly, and I go hiking. I love to go walking on the beach like I mentioned earlier, walking my dog. And traveling is something that I really, really like to do. Now, it's been tough because of the coronavirus, and I did go to Mexico though last year, Playa del Carmen near Cancun, and we had a great time there. And we did bounce around the United States a bit because we live here, so we bounced around and we went to Mammoth and Yosemite and Colorado, so in New Mexico, and so we did bounce around a little bit, Arizona, and did some hikes and all that kind of stuff, and I have a lot of videos on that. And we were supposed to, at the end of the year, go to Israel, Jordan, and Egypt, but then the whole Omicron variant of the coronavirus shut all that down. Israel shut its borders, so we had to postpone it. So in March, that's where we're going to go for a few weeks. We're going to hit all those places, and then we'll come home for a couple of months, and then we're going to go to Europe, and we're just going to bounce around Europe for a couple of months, because all this pent-up travel that we couldn't do the last couple of years, we're going to try to get a lot of that in this year coming up. So we'll see what happens. I hope that does happen, and if it does, I'll be vlogging all of that kind of stuff and showing you what we're doing in all those different countries. And that's what I'm doing right now, and I really love it. And I'm also helping my wife out with her health coaching. And so what I love about it is that we're helping a lot of people stay healthier, both of us, and that really makes me happy too. And so we're doing all of that, and through my books and videos and helping her out with that, it's just that we're helping people stay as young and healthy and in best physical shape that they can be in, and mental shape that they can be in as they go through life. And we just love that. So we're hoping to inspire some people to live their best life, and we're going to continue to do that. And that's really all I had for this video, and I want to thank you all so much for watching. It really does warm my heart when you watch my videos. It makes me happy. And if you like the video, make sure you give it a thumbs up, and that way YouTube knows to push it out to other people who can benefit from it. And if you have any comments at all about this video or any other videos that you would like to see, or you have any questions, please put them in the comments below, and I will meet you there soon. And if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the channel and ring the bell notification, and that way you'll be notified every time I put out a healthy living video. And if you know anybody who can use healthy living videos like this one, make sure you share the video with them so they end the channel so they can join in on all the fun. And for more tips on how to live a happier, healthier life, 2 videos are going to pop up any moment, and you can click on any of those videos and you can continue your happy, healthy living journey. And I will see you all next time.